Hi, we know that you love chickens. Would you like to buy our chicken feed?
No, I don't. I don't want to buy your chicken feed, but thanks for the offer. So I have been also someone who has struggled with tired all the time. How do you know whether it is physical or not, and whether to go and see a doctor? One you should always rule out: cancer. Again, nobody wants cancer, do they? So let's check we don't have cancer. I had a nappy new. Physical. Okay, it tipped it down despite Siri, a little telling me that it wasn't going to rain. Club Tropicana, drinks are free. Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. All that's missing is the sea. Oh! Hi guys, we're back. Today we are backseat positivitying and we are talking about why you're tired all the time. I've come up with 27 reasons. Who knew there could be that many? But I'm sure there's definitely more. 100% there is more. But I've come up with 27 and it's kind of annoying. It's not 30, but I'm sure some more will come out in the woodworks. I hope you enjoyed my little wham introduction because today I look like a prison inmate. I'll show you my outfit. I mean, it's literally grey on grey tracksuit. I'm kind of loving it though. It's tracksuit kind of weather. You might have listened to my last episode about hygge, but higgy in my eyes, and I'm definitely channeling some hygge vibes today, especially. I've even got, yes, I'm so stretchy. Fuck. It's all chaos in here. But yeah, tired all the time. This is such a common problem that in medicine, I'm a doctor, wait, hi. I'm Dawn, hi. In medicine, we have an acronym for it, and only things that are common have acronym. An acronym is a shortened version, just using the first letter of every word, if you didn't know what an acronym was. So it's like CBA, right? That's can't be asked. Or WTF, what the fuck? Or BAE, before anyone else. So there we go. I think that's what BAE means anyway. Those are like some really like slang ones. Also, I'd like to say I'm really sorry because my boyfriend is gaming next door and I told him to shut up, but he's still making a noise. So I'm going to try and keep talking past it. It's kind of tiring. So I have been also someone who has struggled with tired all the time. TATT. Tired all the time. And there are so many fucking reasons for tired all the time. And a lot of people see their GP for it. It's not something I see that often in terms of like a main presenting complaint, like why people are coming in. But coming into hospital, because I work in the emergency department, so it's not like people are coming in saying often, they're not like I'm tired all the time. It's usually they've got another symptom. But they might mention that they're tired all the time as well. But when you're working in GP, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Is it a very common symptom? Yes. I don't know. That was a rhetorical question, really. So I've come up with 27 reasons. Again, there are definitely more. I kind of want to make it to 30. I've split it into physical, mental health, and environmental. That's kind of, it made sense to me. And then the next episode, we're going to be talking about solutions to your tiredness problems. I have been someone recently who has been a little bit tired a lot, tired all the time. And it's a really tricky thing to figure out because you always want it to be something that you can just fix. And unfortunately, it's not always that easy. And I've seen it a lot when people, oh my God, this is extremely common, is people always resort firstly to, well, most of the time, obviously because I work in medicine, so I would see that, you know, I don't see the people that aren't coming in, but I see the people who are thinking it's a physical health problem or maybe want to rule it out. So I'm going to talk to you today as well about how do you know whether it is physical or not and whether to go and see a doctor. Now, obviously, this is not like medical advice or whatever, but it's like some general advice that you might want to take on board, use it how you want to use it or whatever, and just you can use that with your own better judgment. Don't just go, Dawn said I shouldn't go to the doctor if I have this symptom. No, you need to like actually think a little bit yourself as well, because I can't, you know, there's a lot of facets that go into this, but I'm going to give you the general gist. That's me absolving myself of responsibility there. But no, as in, I don't want you to think this is like foolproof medical advice when realistically, when I see patients, I see them for like 20 minutes, right? Quite a long time. Doesn't sound that long, but it is. 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and I speak to them, whereas I can't speak to you. I can't go into the details about your actual tiredness. I might be generalized and be like, oh, if you're tired and you're like throwing up, then it could be this or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that everyone who's tired and throwing up has this X problem. It just means that, you know, because sometimes they might have problems that exclude them from having that problem, if you see what I mean. So anyway, that's enough of that. I've just had a bit of a weird evening tonight. I had a nap, a nappy new, and sorry, we're just getting a little sidetracked to start with, maybe skip like 5 minutes ahead. I had a nappy new, and this is kind of relevant to being tired all the time, okay, because I'm discussing my nap, so you might want to listen. I had a nappy new. Oh god, why am I calling it nappy new? I kind of fucked with it. I don't know if I should say that anymore. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I was really cold. We went to not the zoo, but like an animal park. It fucking tipped it down despite Siri, a little bitch, telling me that it wasn't going to rain. Didn't take an umbrella. Didn't take a waterproof coat. I just took like a jumper that's sort of not waterproof, but it's like weirdly, like it's layered, so it's got things going on. And anyway, we were safe for a bit. But then it started fucking hurtling it down. You know that rain where it's like a waterfall? And we were like under this thing that had no guttering, so it was all just pouring off the edge. Anyway, I got very wet. Then I got cold. Then I laid under a blanket and I fell asleep. It was a great time. Tom went to the gym. My boyfriend went to the gym and I was alone with the pups. They were in their bed. I was not in mine, but I was on the sofa. And I was toasty and I woke up and I was nice and warm. And the only thing that really woke me up was that I needed a wee. So I went for a wee. God, this is a boring story. And then I went for... Okay, this bit's a bit irrelevant, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Because I kind of love it. So I went for a walk at 10 o'clock at night. Tom was like, please don't do it, please don't do it. And I was going because I was waiting for you to get back. You said you'd be back at 8 and you got back at 10. And you had my head torch. I couldn't go walking in the dark. It was already dark at 8, and that's kind of when I woke up. So I waited for him to get back till 10. I was going to sit down and podcast, and then he comes back. So now it's 1:30 in the morning and we're podcasting. Yes, it's happening. This all contributes to the story. I do promise. I promise. Okay, so anyway, I go out for my walk. I see 2 hedgehogs. Fucking best walk ever. I love hedgehogs and I love foxes and I just love animals. Okay, went to an animal park. Love animals. Then I saw animals. I've never seen hedgehogs in the park before. That was amazing. Anyway, they're really fucking cute. The dogs, I was like, leave the hedgehog alone. Anyway, love the hedgehogs. Got back and then I thought I better read my email. And these are my emails, like, you know, I say at the end of my podcast, I'm like, if you want to email me, then you can email me at this contact@diariesofadoctor.com. Anyway, I don't check it very often. Let's say every 3 months, because I get a lot of spam. I don't get a lot of, you know, I'm not like fucking popping off, am I? I'm not like Mr. Beast and getting emails left, right and centre. So, you know, I check it. I probably should check it once a month. But anyway, I don't check it that often and I checked it. And what happened was, came across a lot of spam. There was about 150, 200 emails in there, right? Unread. A lot of it was like subscriber emails, whatever. That was like probably like 75% of it. A lot of it was clearly a bot had messaged me, and if it doesn't say my name in the email, I'm like, well, you're clearly a robot. They're like, hi, we've seen your Instagram, we think it's amazing. I'm like, my Instagram isn't amazing. Let's get that fucking right for a start. And, you know, come on, I don't want to partner with Korean beauty supply. I don't use Botox, and I'm not going to buy it from a dodgy website, and I'm not going to promote people to buy it from a dodgy website. Anyway, those are the kind of emails I get. But a needle in the haystack, I do get 2 or 3 emails out of those 200 that are legitimate. They kind of contain something where I'm like, I know that a human has written that. Firstly, my name. I probably shouldn't tell you, but whatever. Because, well, to be fair, I don't mind if a human writes me an email. I don't like it when a robot writes me an email. I don't love it. Who the fuck does? Hi, we know that you love chickens. Would you like to buy our chicken feed? No, I don't. I don't want to buy your chicken feed, but thanks for the offer. So I had a couple of emails on there that were legitimate. One of them was entitled TV Inquiry. Interesting. I have had 2 requests now for TV inquiries. They're starting to roll in. Let me just say that. Number 1, actually, I don't know if it was TV. I am a bit scared of journalists. Do you know why? Because they can fucking make or break you. Do you know why? Because I know how easy it is to manipulate a story. I'm not saying they're manipulative. I'm saying things can be written or things can be said and be taken in a different context or be taken in a different light. So I am a little bit, when it's my own YouTube channel, I have control over what I'm saying and what I'm putting out and how it's phrased and what I cut out and if I don't think the intonation's right or if I don't think something's that funny or do you know what I mean? Whereas when someone else has got it, it's like really out of your control. So I get this email, TV inquiry. I get 2 of them actually because I didn't reply to the first one. This is quite a common theme. If I don't reply, they seem to message me 2 or 3, right? So I actually, side note, I had an email from, you might be listening actually, Vinny. I've now replied. Vinny, the ukulele man, may, if he still fancies it, be on the podcast. And this is like genuine, like I just don't read my emails because 95% of them are shit. So I have a look every so often, little gander. But I think maybe now is the time where I need to start looking at them more often because my channel is getting bigger, my podcast is getting more popular. So I don't want to, it's not me being like, I'm getting so popular. But you've got to move with the times, haven't you? So I've obviously got to up my game a bit. I have also considered changing my email because it's contact@diarydoctor.com, but we'll leave it at that for now. We'll leave it at that. It worked. We'll change it at some point. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Not me. And anyway, TV inquiry. I'm a bit scared about that. So I'm just telling you what kind of mindset I'm in, right? Before I get into, wow, I feel like everyone's clicked off because they've been like, Dawn has talked for 15 minutes and hasn't told me one reason why I'd be tired. Okay, but that story is important because, number 1, I had a nap because I was tired. And that fits into the thing that I'm going to be talking about in a minute. And number 2, I just wanted you to know what kind of weird mindset I'm in where I've got journalists or TV producer contacting me being like, do you want to can I use your video in this thing? And I'm like, I'm not sure how they're going to use it or like what they're going to use it for. So I'm just feeling a little bit weird about that because I don't want it to be taken out of context. Videos are 10 minutes long, probably maximum, right? The thing is I can sit here and do a podcast and just talk my mind. On a video, no one's going to listen to that. In fact, no one's probably listening to this. Thanks fucking a lot if you are still listening, by the way. But when you're doing a YouTube video, I can't put all of my thoughts into one video. It would be too much, right? It needs to fit the storyline and needs to get to the point. So I do cut a lot of my, extra thoughts out. And as a result, it comes across as maybe like a one-sided story or a one-directional story. In particular, my video about Saxenda, which is one of the weight loss medication that I was taking. And I don't want it to be taken as like people thinking that I'm like an advocate for it, people thinking that I am telling people to go on it. I have mixed opinions about it. Mainly the benefits outweigh the problems so far, for me anyway. I want this to be like my situation, right? I'm not like saying the benefits outweigh the risks for everybody, but it's my Saxenda video. You can go watch it if you want. It's on my YouTube channel. If you're already on my YouTube channel, then look at my channel. It's quite recent. So anyway, but that all of that fits in, okay? And I'll bring in, got a message from PayPal. What do you want? Great. You just paid money. Excellent. This all fits into why one might be tired all the time. Right. Let's start with physical. Let's get physical. 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 Ooh, do, physical. Okay, now, the common one that people go to, there's actually 2. The common 2 that people go to, anemia. Doesn't matter what kind, right? Okay, because I've just classified it as anemia. Anemia is like having a low hemoglobin, right? In your blood cells. Can be caused by many different things. Commonly iron deficiency anemia, but you can also get a volume depletion anemia, as in you've bled somewhere. You've lost your volume of blood. You can also get B12 anemia, folate deficiency anemia. You can also get dilutional anemia, which is often when you're pregnant, you get it, and you basically have loads of fluid and it dilutes your blood down so you have less concentration of red blood cells. Or you can get anemia from like cancers. Okay, so those are the anemias. That is generally what people think. They think, okay, I'm anemic, I'm tired, I must be anemic, right? And that is a fair assessment. And at the end of this physical section, I'm going to tell you when should you be seeing a doctor, right? There are other things, deficiencies, number 2, i.e. vitamin D, vitamin C deficiency, magnesium deficiency, zinc deficiency. But the thing is, we don't often test for those things. And really, how common are they? That's the question. Vitamin D, quite common in like older people or people that just don't see the sun very often. You only need 15 minutes of sun exposure of your arms and face and like upper body per day, even in winter, to get your vitamin D allowance. So not so bad. I think the third one, I've put this like 5th, but realistically the second one, I'd say, but it is now the 3rd, is thyroid, mainly hypothyroid disorder. A lot of people think I need to get my thyroid checked because I must have a thyroid. The next one, diabetes. One you should always rule out. Cancer, again, nobody wants cancer, do they? So let's check we don't have cancer. That can make you tired for a number of reasons. As discussed earlier, it can make you anemic. It can also, cancer cells use up a lot of energy, so they take away from what you need. Also, they can do things like have like a mechanical obstruction. Let's say you have bowel cancer, stomach cancer, something like that. Something that obstructs your gastrointestinal system means you can't eat as much. So basically, although it's the cancer that's causing the tiredness, it's not really. It's the cancer that's actually causing an obstruction, which means you can't eat as much, which makes you tired. You can also, I guess, have like a brain cancer, which might make you tired. Not that common, okay? And what other types of cancer make you tired? I mean, obviously anemia cancers, especially ones that make you lose blood. Anyway, that's enough of that. If you're my age, cancer, very unlikely. Not unheard of, but unlikely. Obstructive sleep apnea, we're getting like less common with the like diseases now, okay? In fact, let's say period and hormones. I would say that's a physical problem in terms of, it's not a problem, but it's like a physical cause, right? The other day I did an episode on PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, depressive disorder, and PMS. Basically, I was fucking tired. I was so tired. I was exhausted. Couldn't get out of bed. Well, I could, but it was hard. And I think some of that is hormone related, but also I had like a mild bout of depression. And basically, I'm fit because I'm not on, although my periods come back, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Now, obstructive sleep apnea is basically where you either have a very big neck or you have floppy mouth stuff or stuff at the back of your throat, or generally it's from people being overweight. And when you go to sleep, your jaw and muscles relax, and then your airway obstructs because of the weight on it from being obese, or sometimes just if you have a connective tissue disorder, it can obstruct. Anyway, you wake up several times a day because you stop several times a night, because you stop breathing. Your body wakes you up. Sometimes you don't always notice it, and it's actually your partner who might notice, oh yeah, they snore and then they like stop breathing and then they wake up, and that's why you ask them quite commonly. There is actually a what's it called, questionnaire that you can do. It's sleepiness scale. I can't remember the whole term, but something sleepiness scale. And if you do that, it can lead to, it might say, oh, you might have OSA or you might not. Now, if you are not significantly overweight or obese, then it's fairly unlikely, but obviously if your partner says you snore a lot, it might be worth considering. But yeah, go check out that sleepiness scale. Other things like kidney disorders, and okay, this one's super pertinent to what I've been talking about recently, is obesity, because I'm still obese. I've lost weight. You might have noticed it. I've mainly lost it around my neck and my face. If you go back and look at some of my old videos, I was a bit chunkier. So, obesity makes you fucking exhausted. Because if you think about it, right, when you don't realise until you lose the weight and you're like, oh, fuck, light. I'm moving. I'm grooving. I'm going for it. And you feel like air. I haven't lost that much. Like, I have lost a lot, but like not as much as I want to lose. So I'm just thinking, fuck me, what am I going to feel like when I've lost all the weight? I'm going to feel like a piece of cloud. And it's like, imagine if you were just walking around with one of those big weight vests on all day, getting standing up for a long period of time. It's all really tiring, and it sounds really silly and like really, maybe not a thing, because you don't think about it until you lose the weight. I've lost I'm not actually going to say how much right now because I am doing a video on it. I've lost a lot, several kilos, and I think when I go to the gym, I'm like, wow. Like, I lift up how much weight I've lost, and I'm like, shit, imagine if I now had to re-carry that round all day. I just think, oh my God. And then the amount of weight that I want to lose, like, I pick it up and I'm like, Christ almighty. So I've already noticed just being lighter. I feel less tired because I can move around easier, and I just use like way less energy to get off the fucking sofa, and it's easier to get off the sofa. And this is kind of what I wanted to do with doing the medications, was like, I wanted to kickstart things. It's really hard exercise when your body hurt and you have injuries, because probably which aren't made better by being bigger. I had an ankle injury. Fucking gone, hasn't it? Where's it gone? I don't know, but it's not hurting, and I do think maybe that's because I'm lighter. I haven't done any tennis in a while though. That's usually what sets it off. So maybe I'll go and try that. But I was kind of reluctant to do any exercise that was high impact, because I didn't want to hurt my ankle more from being like so heavy and change direction loads. So that's but honestly, if you just lose, like, I'm not encouraging people to lose weight, although, because, some people don't need to lose weight. Some people, i.e. me, definitely fucking do. All right. And I think just lose, I don't want this to apply to everybody, but for me, just losing a few kilos has changed me and my energy levels and how I'm able to move around so much. Like, I can't wait to get down to the weight that I want to be, and I'm going to be able to just exercising will feel much nicer. Okay, so we're gonna cover, how do you know if it's physical? In fact, I might do that at the end, because I might compare it to the other one. That would make sense. No, actually, let's do it now. YOLO. Right, so let's say, for example, common anemia. Now, the symptoms of anemia are not always just being tired, and this is probably the same, almost always the same for the rest of the physical condition. Obviously, the things that I say are not blanket bans on everything. They are flexible depending on the person, but I'm just giving you like a general overview. Okay, let's talk about anemia. Right, anemia, if you have anemia, you are not just tired. There are other symptoms, right? You might be more pale, you might find it harder to walk, you might get short of breath quicker, you might find it harder to exercise. You might not, if you're a female, you might have really heavy periods, which you might think, oh, that, maybe that's where I'm losing all the blood. More common in females, and or if you're like a vegetarian or something. But I would say I have had tired all the time issues, right? I went to the doctor, and I think it's worth, if you're having that issue and you're unsure, go to the doctor, reassure yourself and everybody else there is nothing physically going on here. All my blood tests are fine. I'm not anemic. I haven't got thyroid disease, right? Because again, with thyroid disease, you're not just tired. You might have like dry skin, or, there are other symptoms of hypothyroidism, not just being tired. There are other symptoms of OSA. There are other symptoms of cancer. Now, I would say you go to the doctors, you get your bloods done, they're fine. You go away, the symptoms get worse, right? As a theoretical example. If the symptoms get worse or you start getting new symptoms, go back, okay? Because then something's evolving or something's changing. But if you go to the doctor and you get your bloods checked and you go, okay, I'm not anemic, I haven't got thyroid problems, and you might get a bit better just with the thought of knowing, okay, I don't have anemia, but you don't get worse and you don't develop new symptoms. That's generally probably okay. You don't need to keep going back and being like, well, maybe now I'm anemic. Nothing's changed. I haven't changed my lifestyle. I haven't sorted out my mental health. I haven't changed my environmental things that we're about to discuss in a minute, but I'm probably anemic now, even though I wasn't last time. No. The likelihood is if you weren't anemic then, you're probably not anemic now unless something has changed, okay? So those are my tips for physical, tired all the time, and how you can tell the difference. Again, fucking generalization, okay? Mental health is my next one. People don't like to think that they are depressed or stressed or having anxiety. And a lot of people, when I was on GP, would say, when I was working as a GP, well, I wasn't a GP. I say when I'm on GP, junior in GP surgery. When I was, because anyway, whatever. When I was working in GP, I did see a lot of tired all the time. And once you've ruled out those physical health problems, you've asked them all the questions, you've done the bloods, right? A lot of people say, well, I'm not sad, or I'm not stressed. But I think nowadays, our baseline of stress is like higher. We don't realise that we're stressed, I would say. I think I'm stressed. I'm like constantly thinking I need to make sure I stay on top of my podcast schedule. I'm not like stressed about it, but it's in the back of my mind. I'm like, I've got to, all like when I was napping, I was like, oh God, I was going to go in podcast. And now I'm like delayed it and now it's 2 a.m. So, I was thinking about it all evening and I was like, come on, Dawn, you got to go do it. I'm just doing it ahead of schedule because I'm working and I've got a really busy day tomorrow. So I'm like, it's in the back of your mind, we take our work home with us. We live with our work. We have a lot of things going on. Children, many environmental issues. And sometimes we don't realize we're depressed or stressed until we're not, which sounds really odd, but I didn't realize I was depressed because sometimes it happens so insidiously, secretly, we don't notice it. And then when you're getting better, God, I was really fucking bad. I was really anxious. So in this mental health section, I'm just including seasonal affective disorder. I don't know why I started with that one. It's like the least common one. Stress, anxiety, which is mainly, I talk a lot about like health and well-being on my podcast and happiness and stuff like that. So, I cover all of these things. I have a lot of these things. Depression. I've also put bipolar in there, but I'm sure there are loads of other mental health disorders that would make you tired. OCD. Imagine if you're cleaning all day, right? And you can't stop worrying about whether things are dirty or not, and you're like cleaning and you don't sit down because you just want to go and clean or whatever, or you need to go and check things, or you're stressed about a work email or trying to finish your emails or something. I just think we don't notice our baseline levels of stress are so much higher, and our productivity output is like, we feel like we need to be up here, and like realistically we could probably be down here. And I think the change is coming. And I was reading some articles today. Millennials in particular are the first people in a few generations to actually think, I don't need to work my ass off all the time. I can just exist, have a happy life, because everyone's like, oh, you need to get to the top. But do I really? Am I even going to get there? Even if I work my ass off, some of it's luck, some of it's how rich are your parents, some of it's how much of a leg up are you going to get, some of it's how much you're going to stand on other people. So some of it's not just how much you work and how many hours you put in. There's other factors, my friends, okay? Anxiety, seasonal effect. If you get tired or depressed in the darker month, then you might be sad. It's kind of an ironic going back to act. The last one is environmental. I think, again, they're all so big, but realistically, most of us, especially my age, don't have physical health problems. I think if you're listening to this podcast and you're a bit older, I'm sorry, but people who are older have more health problems. I've noticed this. I'm only 28, but I'm fucking racking them up, aren't I? But if you're younger than me, right, the likelihood is probably don't have these health problems, but please go and get them checked out. I mean, I have included lots of ones that are for younger people. There are, I could include loads of fucking health conditions that are for people who are older. COPD, which is a lung disease. Oh, do you know what? Heart failure. All of the physical health problems of older people, pretty much. I'm trying to think of one that doesn't make you, but they all make you, okay? So that I can think of right now. Probably later I'll be like, oh no, this one doesn't. Probably like, no, I don't know, because I was thinking even one, if you had like a hormone, pituitary gland or a adrenal gland disorder, right, where adrenaline and stuff produced. If you're high on adrenaline all the time, then you might, well, be tired. But I don't know. Anyway, that was just a theory. I don't know. My mouth is dry AF going. Environmental. Okay, there's a lot on here. This is the biggest one. I could come up with a lot here. Move it. Still great, but okay. Oh, wowie, wowie, wow. Okay, recently I have been on a little fitness drive. I've just been loving it. Since I've lost a bit of weight, I've just been loving it. You know, when you're just like, yeah, I'm fucking off. I'm going for it. I've just been enjoying it, and that's nice. But sometimes you can exercise too much. Not been the case, I wouldn't say. In fact, maybe. I haven't exercised today, like officially. I haven't gone to the gym or anything because my body's tired. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to exercise. Went for a walk. Few walk. I don't call walking exercise personally. Obviously, there are competitive walkers. You're probably exercise. But me, no. Sometimes if you're looking at animals, it's a slow dawdle, right? Anyway, too much exercise. I would say that is unlikely to be the majority of people's problem because most people struggle to exercise. But ironically, conversely, not exercising enough can make you tired. I notice it when I'm just like sitting on the sofa all day and I'm just tired. And I'm like, why am I tired? And then you don't feel like exercising and you're like, fuck you, body. Why are you doing this to me? You're making me tired, but also the real thing that you want is some fucking oxygen and blood flow. It's hard. So you have to get yourself out there, and having dogs is like so fucking helpful for this because you have to go and walk because they're literally looking at you like, take me for a walk. And if you don't, you feel really guilty. So that really helps. It's kind of like having a friend that like encourages you to go to the gym and you have to message them and be like, I don't want to go to the gym today. That is the equivalent of what happens with my dog is you have to look them in the eye and go, we're not going. And that is sad. Those puppy eyes, that's sad, isn't it? You can't do them. So I'm not saying go get a dog, but maybe I am. I would say, I don't know which to cover next. Medications, I would call this environmental, although you could argue that it's physical, right? But if you're on, oh god, I'm actually now talking about all this tiredness, right? If you're on certain medications, they can make you more tired. Let's think. What medications can make you more tired? Tiredness is just quite a general symptom. Things like, for example, the medication I'm on a Ozempic, an injection for weight loss, right? Or diabetes actually as well. But basically, it can make you tired, it can make you dehydrated, it can make you tired because, not just because of the medication, I would say, but because of the side effects. And, there are medications that will make you tired. Codeine makes you tired. Benzodiazepines, anything with morphine in or some kind of opioid will all make you tired. But some medications, the side effects or the effects of the drug will cause you to be tired. So, for example, the medication that I'm on makes me hydrated. And not drinking enough water is also on my list of, that's actually on the diet section. But it basically, you lose water. I don't know how. It does something. And then if you're not drinking enough, you get tired, right? There's another thing. It stops you from eating as much. So I'm like constantly in a diet situation. My body is like a calorie starvation. So recently I've not been eating enough, I wouldn't say, because I'm not hungry. And I've been exercising quite a lot. It's not intentional. It's just like I'm not hungry, but I feel really fucked. So I've had to like make myself eat basically because I've been feeling like shit. So that is a side effect. That's the whole purpose of the medication, right? But you can see that as a side effect. So just moving on from that, on the diet thing, not eating enough calories can make you tired, obviously. But then you kind of get this feeling of like exhaustion, right? I just felt exhausted. Not enough water. As well. Let's finish off the diet while we're here. Too much caffeine. I've basically cracked the caffeine code. Basically, if you have caffeine in the morning, I only have one coffee a day. Some people have loads. I'm like, what are you doing? I have one coffee in the day and I have a not level, but like semi-heat tablespoon, quite a lot of coffee. That's cut down. It used to be heaped, but now it's semi-heaped. I'm cutting down, right? But basically, I used to have a heaped one, straight in, bam. So most people have a teaspoon, not me. I'm all in. fucking... Anyway, tablespoon, and then I have an iced coffee. But basically what was happening was I was having so much coffee that I was getting really anxious as well. Great times. And then I was fucking crashing hard. And that wasn't fun. So I'm cutting down my coffee. And I don't have sugar in my coffee, but if I did, I would also have a sugar crash. I'm not really not having loads of sugar at the moment, so I'm doing pretty well. But that, again, with the high and then the crash down. The thing is with that tiredness, it comes after you can kind of notice it. You don't feel tired when you've had loads of coffee and you've got loads of sugar. But then, a few hours later, you're I feel like I'm going to fall asleep. I want to go to bed. So that's how you know that one. Alcohol, drugs. I don't sleep very well when I drink alcohol. It's just a problem. I've talked about it it does something to your receptors, brain, neurotransmitters, but it makes you not sleep very well. So basically, I wake up, I haven't slept properly. But also when you go out drinking, often you get home late and then maybe you get up early. I also have this weird thing where I wake up basically when it gets light. It's really troublesome. And I literally can't get back to sleep. Burnout. Oh, hello darkness, my old friend. Burnout. I hate you, but I love you. I like working hard generally, but I often burn myself doing too much or working. Maybe that's the same thing, but I've put them as two separate things on my list. We do so much, especially me. I'm always doing napping. That is doing something in my opinion. But I don't usually nap, to be fair. But I'm always either planning a podcast or doing a podcast or planning a video or filming a video or making a video, or if I'm not doing any of that, I'm at work or I'm meal prepping or I'm going shopping or I'm meeting friends or I'm walking the dogs or relaxing. Sometimes, a lot of the time, to be fair. But we work way too much. Maybe some people don't, but I think a lot of us do. It's a societal thing. If you're not working hard, then you're lazy. If you're not working hard, then you're not going to get anywhere. And if you're not going to earn enough money to survive, blah, 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 blah. Why don't you just try reducing how much you spend and then you can earn less and enjoy life a bit more. I do my videos and my podcast because I enjoy it, but I do hope at one point in my life that it will help me to sustain my income, and I would like to do it a bit more, reliably, because I'd like it to earn a bit more reliably so that I can do more of it. The issue is it doesn't earn reliably enough for me right now, so I am having to work more as a doctor. That in itself, working as a doctor, some hospitals and some jobs are just hard. Some days are hard. Sometimes I've just been really burnt out, trying to talk to people and squeeze out the information from is hard work. It's so brain sapping, I don't know, but it's pretty exhausting, as I'm sure you're aware. Most people realise that are. I would say my last one, I mean, we're approaching an hour, so let's wrap it up. My last one is one that people won't think about, and that is dopamine overdose. Whenever I lie on the sofa all day and watch Netflix, for example, or YouTube, I feel exhausted, and you're well, I haven't fucking moved, why am I so tired? And it's my brain is oversaturated with stuff, and I think that's a dopamine thing, and it's this oversaturation of neurotransmitters, and I'm so overstimulated, and that is the time that I need to just go out and go for a walk or get away. So it might be that you've watched too many TikTok. I'm talking a fucking marathon. Those times where you're watching TV or something. You're having a hangover day, but you're just lying there watching TV forever. And then you're oh my God, I actually feel dead inside, actually dead. Thankfully, it's a pretty quick recovery. Next day, you should be fine. But I don't like getting to that state. So anyway, I think that'll be it for today. Next episode is how to fix all of these problems. I don't know how long that's going to take. We might have to split it up. This took an hour. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Not an hour. It's 49 minutes so far. But going through all the treatments for it, who knows? Let's have a little thinky boy about that. I mean, yeah. Anyway, if you liked it, please give it a like. If you rate it, please give it a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Share it with your friends, family, anyone who's tired, like me. It's now 2:30 and it's time for bed, to be honest. And I hope you enjoyed it. I did. And I hope to see you in a few days. I upload twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, and go check out my YouTube channel if you're just listening to podcasts. It's at Dawn Barlow. Thanks so much for listening. Woo woo woo! Club Tropicana drinks are free. sea. Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. All that's missing is the sea. I wish I knew the lyrics to that part. Okay, it's kind of funny because this is actually like a singing microphone, so it sounds pretty fucking good. Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. It's a shame my voice isn't as good. Bye. I forgot to give you a kiss.